getting so close to the end now. Chapter 30. Horace shook his head sorrowfully as he and Echo stood back to back, tied tightly to the rock. You should have just waited until she'd gone. We could have run away. Sky pirates don't run away. Echo's hands tingled as the ropes bit into her wrists, and she wriggled uselessly against them. She looked for Gilbert, who had disappeared under a thorn bush during Echo's fight with Miranda. Gilbert, where are you? She saw a flash of yellow as the little lizard scuttled out of the undergrowth and ran up Echo's leg. But however hard he tried, Miranda really had tied them up securely this time. After struggling for several minutes, the little lizard flopped, exhausted, into the red dirt, and Echo was still bound as tight as ever. Her arms ached where they had been forced unnaturally behind her back. She glanced around in desperation. Stinger still lay where it had landed in the bushes, out of reach and far too heavy for Gilbert to manage. There really was no way to escape this time. We could have escaped, continued Horace. We could have waited for Lil and the others to arrive. Echo squinted into the distance. 6 airships were dotted around Mount Enoch. Anaconda was moored close to the volcano's mouth. The yellow-sailed ship circled above the river. Even the Purple People Eater, its balloons patched with grimy sailcloth, and Obsidian, still soot-stained but functioning, had arrived. But the Scarlet Margaret was nowhere to be seen. Perhaps Lil never got my message at all, Echo thought despondently, or perhaps she decided not to come. Echo shook herself. No, Lil was her mother. There was no way she would leave Echo here with dragons and danger and 6 rival sky pirate clans. Something must have held them up. In the meantime, there had to be something Echo could do to stop Miranda. We have to get that cutlass, she said. Can you see anything that would help us? Really, Echo? Who cares about the cutlass when we're about to get eaten by a dragon? I care, and you will too once Miranda's in charge of the 7 skies. She's dangerous, Horace. I think we need to be worrying more about... And Horace trailed off. What is it? Echo strained to look at him and at the entrance of the caves over his shoulder. What can you see? Listen, he said. Echo froze. She could hear footprints. Footsteps. No, she could feel footsteps. Footsteps so large and heavy that they shook the very mountain they were standing on. The footsteps grew louder. There was a deep rumble that seemed to vibrate through Echo's bones, and the great gleaming red dragon came lumbering out of the volcano. The dragon sniffed and daintily licked up a marshmallow with her long forked tongue. Smoke spiraled from her nostrils, and she regarded them unblinkingly with cat-like amber eyes. What should we do? Said Echo. It had been one thing looking at the sleeping dragon and imagining taking a piece of its gold, but seeing her up close, awake and dangerous was quite another thing. I don't know, whispered Horace. Close our eyes and prepare to die? The dragon took another pace forward, lashing her muscular tail from side to side with a whoomp, whoomp. Is that good? Echo asked, that she's wagging her tail. Horace shook his head nervously. No, it's bad, very bad. Oh, no. What now? Echo's heart stilled as she saw the little golden scaled figure of Gilbert scuttling across the rocks straight towards the dragon. Gilbert, no, she hissed. Gilbert paused and cocked his head towards her, then turned back and continued to run right up to the dragon's snout. Echo's heart almost stopped beating entirely as the dragon's nostrils flared and she stared at Gilbert with her amber eyes. Echo grabbed Horace's hand and squeezed it tight as Gilbert crept even closer. What's he doing? I don't know. Sweat prickled on Echo's forehead. She strained uselessly at her bonds. If only she could break free and pluck Gilbert out of harm's way. The dragon opened her jaws in a wide mouth yawn and dropped her snout so she was nose to nose with Gilbert. Echo held her breath as Gilbert raised his chest and bowed his head low. What's he doing? She clenched her jaw in trepidation as he continued to bob his head. The dragon watched in silence before raising her own crest in response. Echo's mouth dropped open. I think he's talking to her, she murmured. Talking to a dragon? Asked Horace. Yes, that's what he said to me before, that we should talk to her. Horace shook his head in disbelief. I suppose dragons and lizards are related, zoologically speaking, but still it seems implausible that... Look, the dragon bobbed her head in turn and blew smoky breath over Gilbert before butting him ever so gently with her snout. Echo and Horace both broke into huge grins. Is she friendly? Asked Horace. I can't believe it. Shh! Echo pointed at Gilbert, who was racing back across the rocks towards them. When he reached them, he tugged on Echo's bootlaces and turned to the dragon as if to say, come on. Echo's eyes widened in terror as the dragon lumbered towards them, her tail still swishing this way and that. She could feel Horace shaking behind her. The dragon lowered her huge head and looked Echo right in the eye. Then she opened her jaws, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth, each one as big as Echo's hand. Echo gasped in horror. This was it. This is how it was all going to end. She clutched Horace's hand and squeezed her eyes tightly shut, and that's the end of the chapter. We'll have to find out more next time. Okay, we'll read the first line of chapter 31. And to Echo's surprise, all she felt was a soft nudge to her belly, followed by the slacking of ropes as they slipped off and fell to the dusty ground. We will find out more next time. Good night, Baba. I love you. Did you catch it? One for me, please. Oh, I got it. Good night, Baba.